for you to tell me a little bit about how Gaia University got started.
Well, we could go back to the 70s after the Limits to Growth documentation came out from MIT way back then and alerted many of us to the dangers of continuing with a growth-based economy, which gave rise to things like permaculture. And the 15 years or so experience we had in the UK with running permaculture diploma systems as we were training up people to get on with the action that was required to mitigate climate change has now morphed into Gaia University. So here we are in this unseasonably cold 2010 in Mexico, right now experiencing climate change, and that's the function of Gaia University, to move rapidly on training people up to be ready to reconform human culture for climate change.
And from my side of it, I understood in the 70s that if we did not like the way things were going in the society, we needed to find positive alternatives to that. And one of the alternatives is building community. And Gaia University is set up as a dispersed model that will enable us to have regional centers in local communities so that we can localize higher education and not send all our most talented, intelligent people to the cities.
Okay, can you explain to me a little bit about how it works?
People work in their communities and work on real life projects, and then we provide a whole range of tutorial and mentoring facilities to provide people with support whilst they do that. So it's a very practical, action-oriented and collaborative model of education, which in which the curriculum is determined by what the projects that you're working on asks you to learn about.
Can you give me some examples of that?
Well, if I was thinking of working on transitioning my town from a town which is currently dependent on oil to one which is energy self-reliant, we can imagine that there's a very wide variety of projects that needs doing in order to do that. So, for example, I might need to learn about how to grow all year round food crops in an urban setting.
So I'll give you a couple of examples of projects that some of our Gaia University associates, that's what we call our students, have done. So one of our first graduates started the Transition Town Sandpoint, Idaho project, and that was the first transition town to unleash in the U.S. A Mexican graduate of ours, who is now an advisor, he started by developing rooftop gardens on his family-owned restaurant, and ended by bringing in 7 Aboriginal Australian associates into Gaia University, who are now developing the first worldwide Indigenous college that will be part of Gaia University.
And all of those projects are seamlessly connected, even though it appears when we describe them that they might not be related to each other. But that's the nature of this action learning emergent style, is that we find ourselves moving on from one project to the next in what we can see as a coherent pattern, which you couldn't do that in a conventional curriculum-based learning environment.
Okay, can you tell me a little bit about what Gaia University has planned for the future?
I'll start on that. So the way Gaia University grows is in this mycelial network in which fruiting bodies pop up in different parts of the world, and they pop up by virtue of several people getting together and deciding to organize a regional center. Those people need to go through a Gaia University program so that they understand the quality assurance systems and know how to operate in a way that gives increased credibility to Gaia University. And so we now have 2 operating regional centers, Germany and Tennessee, and this year we'll have 2 more that are fully functioning in Bolinas, California, and in the U.S. Virgin Islands. And next year we'll have 2 more, one in Chile, in the very south of the Americas, and another one in the northeast of the U.S. with the Aboriginal College coming on strong, so we'll see when they're ready. So that's a very key part of the growth of Gaia University. And as we grow with regional centers, we can expand into more and more localized communities.
Andrew, is there anything you'd like to add?
Yeah, we're part of the new global effort to bring coherence to the 30 or 40-year-old movements that have been working on this sort of regenerating human culture work over the past, and have tended to be isolated from each other and to be somewhat individualistic in their approach. So Gaia University is part of the new paradigm of global collaboration in order to provide a coherent alternative to neoliberal capitalism.